So a couple of days ago, I came by a video from this sister by the name ivieanitazz on TikTok, and the video really has me rethinking some things. And I wanted to share this video with you guys as well because I think she shared some very valid points in this video.
In the midst of a conversation about Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, I can't help but realize there's some things in the conversation that need to be called out. Like, I understand that right now it might still be easy for many people to have this generational pessimism about Africa's future. And that's exactly what it is, pessimism. It always seems that people who are pessimistic confuse themselves a lot for being realistic. But like, how can you be realistic when you only ever take one side of things into account? It does not make you real, it makes you an enemy of progress. Passive fatalism is dangerous. Existential fatalism is even more dangerous. Especially when for the first time there's so many unprecedented reasons to finally believe otherwise. Like, everyone understands the possibility of Captain Ibrahim Traore getting pew-pewed or assassinated. Like, we understand that, obviously. He himself understands that, which is why he's moving as fast as lightning with honestly some of the most strategic moves we've ever seen. But for those thinking that he is more likely to end up another Sankara or Gaddafi or Lumumba, let me give you logical reason to have some optimism for once in your life. Reasons so logical it would be illogical to dismiss them. You'd be doing the devil's heavy lifting to dismiss them. Some might not like some of what's to follow, but I genuinely believe that's because the Westerners' worldview is highly indoctrinated. And I guess the standard person in the Global South's worldview is also highly indoctrinated. I mean, who controls all our education systems? Our former colonizers. For starters, that protest on the 30th of April, it wasn't just vibes. It was a warning. And it was a sign that we are in a new age where Africans can mobilize across the globe, can protect our narrative across the globe after that stupid idiot Michael Langley tried to flip it.
For those who don't know who Michael Langley is, he is a United States Marine Corps general. And not too long ago, he made some very untrue remarks about President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. You guys know how the West operates. When an African country gets a leader that actually cares about the interest of his country and his country's people, there they come now talking about how this person is a dictator and corrupt and how he's a bad leader and how they need to come in and save the people. That's basically what it was. It's just that this time around it was a black man that they got in that position to do their dirty job for them, right? And he fell right into it. I actually made a video on this. If you want to check it out, it's linked down below in the description.
No, you're not manufacturing consent for an assassination this time. No, you're not. They tried it, they've been trying it, but we're done, it's tired. And I don't think people realize the importance of being able to protect your narrative. How do you think the genocide in Palestine has been able to go on for as long as it has? How do you think it was even able to get ignited? Because those narrative games they like to play kill people by the millions. But that protest showed that no, new age people, we can mobilize and we can protect and preserve the information that needs to be protected and preserved. Now, they might do the classic, make associations with terrorism or dictatorship, but no, that's also another thing that is they're not going to be able to manufacture consent out of. Because if we haven't learned for the past 500 plus years, this imported democracy is the only thing that has ever killed us by the masses. And now realizing that the place that it's getting exported from doesn't even have democracy itself, not real. They're constantly playing a tennis match between two-party systems, paralyzed between that rock and a hard place, playing the same game for hundreds of years. They don't even know what democracy looks like themselves.
I swear, when you actually really see it, you cannot unsee it. Government for the people, they definitely know what that means. They just don't like when it's really happening in Africa, because if it really happens in Africa, that's going to be against their interests. So they fight against it and say, oh, that's not democracy, that's dictatorship or whatever they want to call it. So they perpetuate this lie, this facade of what democracy should be instead of the real thing.
They don't even know what leadership for the people actually looks like. And actually, no, the Western imperialists do, because anytime they've seen it in another person in the Global South, they've gone to fucking kill them. Keep your fake ass imported democracy. Stop exporting it. You export it to kill us by the fucking millions, and we're tired. Like, you can't cry about Ukraine and then demonize Africans for wanting that same sovereignty for themselves. Now, here's where it gets interesting, guys. Here's where it gets interesting. Russia and North Korea deploying thousands of troops to Burkina Faso to protect the captain. That is wild. That is unprecedented. It's strategic. Never happened before. What's that Lady Gaga quote? Anyway, I know. Like, literally, no Pan-African leader has ever had international military protection like this. Like, real manpower protection. Never. I know damn well that is not something that Western governments expected, especially not from powers that they've been trying to isolate for decades. Now, the thing that is ticking me off about this conversation is this knee-jerk reaction of fear that people are having towards, especially Russia. I don't know, because they're white. I don't know, I guess.
I'm one of the people that's on the table of what she's talking about right now. You guys know I've said it a plethora of times on this channel. I have trust issues when it comes to them people. I don't care where them people are from and who them people are, what country they. I have trust issues, rightfully so. I'm very skeptical, right? Because our history, them folks, we know what the history has been so far and what it is right now. So, like, rightfully so, I am wary, right? But she addressed this wariness in a way that like had me really rethinking. Hence why I wanted to share the video with you guys as well, because I really want to hear your thoughts on it.
But I really need people to understand the importance of a track record and the importance of international allies. Because outside of Ukraine, the last thing I remember Russia really doing that was that big was coming in to save everyone in World War II. And even during that period, their only interference with Africa was, again, allyship. Advising Africans to nationalize their resources, aka, in other words, what the West perceived as spreading communism. No, they just didn't want us to have any of our resources for ourselves. They can keep exploiting us. Russia's saying, yeah, we want some of that, but on your terms, which is what they've come back to do now after Ibrahim Traoré reached out. It's people thinking that we are accepting Russian partnership out of what? Because we think that they have good hearts and they just want to just do this out of the goodness of it. They're not a fucking charity. They're a nation with something to lose and something to gain. They're an economically stunted nation, an economically isolated nation. They have way too much to lose to start trying to play a Western colonial imperialist game that they have never even played before. Do you know what it actually takes to drive imperialism? Centuries of planning. They've just been waiting for us to finally fucking wake up. And this knee-jerk fear will honestly be the very same thing that either paralyzes us between a rock and a hard place, just waiting for, Western powers to come and sweep us up again, or will literally just drive us right back into the arms of Western imperialism. This is a game of chess. It's literally a game of chess, and I need you people to start recognizing the pawns that are moving, the pawns that have to move in order for us to finally see progress.
So is this situation of like, our house is on fire. We are on the second floor, right? Everywhere is burning. But because we are so scared of taking the risk to jump in hopes that we just may land safely, right? We decide to stay back and say, oh, I don't know, this is too risky. And then we get burnt with the house, right? So she is saying that we need to get out of that mindset and actually start thinking about like making some strategic decisions and taking risks, because like you don't liberate yourself by just sitting in the fire. You have to jump.
Now, China is a slightly different story, and they need to tread carefully, right? China's intentions in Africa have always been economic extraction in exchange for infrastructure diplomacy and blah blah blah. But they haven't obviously been great at the human element of things, the mutual respect element of things. We've been seeing how China's been sending their people to Africa and the people are being exclusionary to Africans. So you're not about to be racist in our homeland. Like, come on. But with Russia and North Korea's involvement and showing willingness to work with African leaders respectfully, to actually protect African leaders, takes away any kind of economic dependency we had from that relationship as well. China has something to lose now. And if they fumble it, trying to act like the West, they're getting economically kicked out. It's all a game of chess. It's all a game of chess, but we are finally in a position where we don't have to be so vulnerable while playing it. We're finally in a position to actually play it. You kidding? And you want to fumble it because they're white?
What the hell? I am so on this table in the bid to be like, oh, I want my people protected from them people. I want us safe. I've been thinking very like limitedly. She was very right when she said it's a very pessimistic approach. We have to find a way to not let our fears hold us back, because like fear can it can be positive. It can save you sometimes from like dangerous situations, like having that fear, right? But also it can limit you. And I think that's what the point she's trying to make with her video, right? We should not let that fear stop us or limit us from the possible opportunity of how working with these people can be liberating. And at the same time, we can work with them, but let's be vigilant. Let's make sure that the things you are signing or whatever decisions we are making, we're not just doing it like us well. Of course, they're not coming to work with us because they just want to be nice and help us. She said it in her video. They are not charity organizations, right? They want something. And we can use that. And while working with them, work smartly. But we cannot say we want to be an island, because we would not be able to get to where we want to get to by being alone. So these people, yes, of course, they don't love us, and they don't really have to. We don't love them. We don't have to. It's a partnership. We all can get the things that we want, and everybody can be happy at the end of the day. We don't have to love each other.
Africa is not strong enough yet to stand on the world stage alone. We are still massively divided. Our education systems are still massively lacking. We are still so susceptible to psychological warfare. And what's being exchanged with Russia is something so valuable, as per Ibrahim Traore's request, for knowledge, technological knowledge, amongst other things that will actually lead to the genuine development of the nation. No one's out here seeing Russia and North Korea as saviors. No, they themselves, they also need saving. But together, that's a real big threat. It's a real big threat to the powers that have literally been keeping the global south under the boot of their shoe for centuries. All the other Pan-African leaders never had this before. They always stood alone. Not just alone as a nation, but alone from their people, because it was so easy for the West to come in and change the narrative. And the final part as well, the cherry on top, is that during all those other times in which a Pan-African leader was successfully assassinated, any Pan-African movement was successfully brought to a halt, the West was economically successful. They were rich during all those times. For the first time ever, they're facing economic collapse, because obviously all empires must fall eventually. And also collapse of morale as well. They're in no position to manufacture consent from their own people this time either. Western imperialists are completely acting alone. They're completely on their own, financially, morally, all of it. And I genuinely believe, to make one last point, that if they do bring this movement to a halt and do actually touch the captain and successfully kill him, it actually could be the real catalyst for World War III. Genuinely. Not the fake war on terror type war, but a global civilian-backed uprising. You think right now the West can handle smoke against millions of angry young Africans, the youngest demographic on earth right now, the largest demographic on earth right now. On top of that, Russia with nothing to lose, North Korea who's been itching for a chance, and an internet that exposes every lie before they even finish the sentence. And good luck them trying to inscript millennials and Gen Z in this economy. It would be a war against people with nothing to lose currently and everything to lose in possibility. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand the weight that holds? Especially when that possibility includes freedom, real freedom. And not just freedom, but prosperity. And not just for Africans, but Africans' allies as well. Now, I'm not joking. This is the biggest window of opportunity we've ever had since the day the Europeans decided to set sail. We can't fumble this. We cannot fumble this just because we're scared of history repeating itself. Have some pattern recognition. See the chess pieces that are moving. It's never happened before. Times are changing. Get ready.
So yeah, that's the video. It really is a different perspective. Quite frankly, I cannot say I'm totally like, oh, for the Russians or for anybody at the moment. Yes, I still have I don't really trust these people mindset, but what she's saying is like, you really don't even have to trust them. And it's politics at the end of the day. Then politicians don't really be liking each other anyways, but they find a way to meet sweet in the middle and everybody's happy. That's what she's saying that we can do, because quite frankly, like she said, paraphrasing here, we cannot do it on our own if we want to be honest. We are not equipped for it. But I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this though. So let's meet in the comment section and continue this conversation there. Thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, I'll be catching you in the next one. Bye.